Hey guys, Eric with Blue Line Fishing. Welcome back to the channel. Your time's important to me as always, and what we're going to do in today's time is we're going to check out this spinning reel that I found on Temu for $8.98. Is it gem? Is it junk? Is it a great find? Is it not worth the box that it was sent in? I don't know, but we're going to find out together. Stick with me. I think you'll find it interesting. So let's jump into this. This is the spinning reel from Temu that I got for $8.98, so $9 for this. This is a 1000 series size. It's very small. I got it on purpose that small to do finesse fishing with, some ultralight finesse fishing with, even crappie, bluegill, pan fishing, things like that. They do offer up to, I think, a 7000 series, which would be like a big saltwater size. But this particular one is the smallest one they offer. It is 13 ball bearings in this, supposedly, and it is 5.2 to 1 gear ratio. So if you're not familiar with gear ratios, what that means is for every complete revolution of the handle, so one complete turn of the handle, that spool, or not actually the spool, but this bail is going to rotate 5.2 times. So that's the gear ratio on it. As far as the feel of it goes, you know, it feels good. It feels smooth. Always look for oscillation in a spinning reel, and that's that wobble you feel in your hand when the spool is going up and down and that line's going on. It doesn't have a ton of oscillation to it, so that's a good thing. It's metal construction. It looks like aluminum. It's not ported or vented here. A lot of times on more upscale reels you'll find that just usually done. It's aesthetically pleasing, but it takes weight off the reel. It doesn't have them here, but you can kind of see the little cuts where that could be done, I guess, in the future if they decide to go that route with the design on it. The spool on here is ported, or it's baffled. And that's normally done aesthetically pleasing once again, but it's also done really just to take weight off of it as well. As far as the weight on this reel goes, I'm going to put it on some digital scales here in a minute. I'll be able to tell you what it weighs. But before we do that, let's look a little further at it. So you guys know on this, you can take the cap off the side, make this a left or right-handed reel, whatever your heart desires there. And the big thing too, you know, we were talking about oscillation with this hand feel. I like to look at the back plate in any reel, whether it's a casting reel, whether it's a spinning reel, to see if it has a true anti-reverse. And when this reel stops, you can see a little bit of, actually there's quite a bit of back play in that handle. Not going to be as big a deal, you know, when you're fishing for bluegill or something like that, pan fishing with it. But when it comes to bass fishing, I don't want any give in that reel. I want that anti-reverse to kick in immediately, come to a dead stop, because I just don't want to have any give where it could cost me a hook setter really driving that hook home. So we're going to pop the spool cap off of this and take a look at the spool and the inner workings here. The spool cap on it feels like it's plastic, but we'll get a better look at it and see. All right guys, let's pop this off. And I've already done this, but in case you're not familiar with it, I'll show you on a spinning reel how to take that spool off. You're just going to turn this spool cap on the top side counterclockwise. This spool cap's going to pop off right here, and then you're going to be left with the spool shaft. Now, one thing I do like to see, which this reel has, you can see the gear right here is metal. It's not plastic. You'll see that on some cheaper spinning reels. It'll be plastic, and when you've got kind of plastic on metal, that never works out very long for durability, so that's going to be a problem or an issue, but not in this case. You've got metals, you've got this steel, looks like a spool shaft, and you've got this metal gear right here, metal tooth gear. And the interior of the spool here is metal as well. It looks like one piece aluminum spool that's on there. Like I stated before, it looks like it's baffled. It's got these holes cut in it, usually done just to take some weight off the reel as well. And then the spool cap has a metal insert in it right here, and the rest of the construction is plastic. And it you know, it doesn't feel like super cheap plastic like on some of them, but it is a plastic spool cap on there. So the reassembly on this, you're just going to take your spool, fit it right down there on the shaft. It slides right down on there. You're going to take your spool cap, pop it right back on here, and just turn it clockwise until it cinches down. And that's also how you're going to adjust the drag on it. If you turn it clockwise, it's going to increase the drag. If you turn it counterclockwise, it's going to decrease the drag. So we've got it back on there, and we'll check it out a little further here. So a couple other features I'll mention on this reel. On the bottom of the reel right here, you'll see this little lever. You can turn the lever to the left, and what that's going to do, it's going to let you reel the reel backwards. So if you don't want to use the drag, you could always back play a fish like that. There's other uses for it too. You flip it back over and you've got your anti-reverse back on. Once again, there's a little bit of give in that there as well. The handle on this, as you can see, is a wooden handle, T-style handle on it. You know, it feels smooth, and like I say, the reel itself feels pretty smooth. I'm going to throw it on some scales here and we'll see what it weighs. Okay, so we've got it on the scales here, and this reel weighs 5.2 ounces. I would say for a 1000 series reel, it's not too bad. Honestly, it's just maybe a tad heavy, but you know, it is what it is. This is a $9 reel, so you can't expect it to be just uber light. But 5.2 ounces on this reel. So one other thing I'll mention about the reel, you know, I said you can take this cap off right here, make it a left or right-handed reel. Also, there's a little button right here. You can hit that button and this reel handle folds down, and that's usually just done if you want to make it more compact for just transport and such. And then you bring it forward, kind of snap it back in, and it locks back in, and you're good to go. So I'll tell you what we're going to do now, guys. That's kind of an in-depth look there at this reel. We're going to put some line on this, put it on an ultralight rod, and we're going to take it out the lake and see what it can do. Okay guys, if you want to know what I've got on here, I've got on a 4-pound P-line on here, put on a little loose laser HS speed stick. So I want budget rod with a budget reel. The casting on it, like I said before, I've got this Ned rig on here, just a little mushroom head on it, 1/16 ounce, and I'll cast it for you. The casting distance on it is really good. I mean, you can rear back and it's excellent with this, but man, it's smooth on the retrieve. Can't hear it. I mean, nice and smooth, but man, look at all this back play. See all that back play when I stop the reel? Not a true anti-reverse by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of back play in it. So guys, final thoughts on this reel. I know it's just a $9 reel from Temu. If you're going to use it for something like just bluegill fishing with a bobber and a cricket, I think it's fine. If you're actually going to try and fish with it on a consistent basis, for me, way too much back play in it. I don't like how this handle has a tendency to want to fold in if you got fat fingers like I do and you bump it. The big thing is just all the back play in it. It's smooth, it's got great casting distance. It just, that back play is just a deal breaker for me. So I can't recommend this for $9. I was hoping it would be one that you could find for a steal on there and use it quite a bit. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you got something out of today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. I'll leave some links down below for you for some product discount codes, and also I'll leave some links for some other review videos if you guys want to check those out. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And remember, until that next video, get out there, fish.